What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Paul. This is the Leeds Therapy. I do hope you are doing well. Before we get into today's video, if you could just make sure that you are subscribed, your notifications are turned on, that you're liking, that you're hyping the video. Importantly for me as well, just make sure that you are commenting on the video for me. That would be greatly appreciated. And if you're listening to the audio version of this, just make sure that you're following on Apple or on Spotify, or that you are liking it as well. So, it's back, finally. Big game preview. Leeds United versus Nottingham Forest. It's our first game of the season. It's away at the City ground on Saturday, 3 p.m. kickoff, thank God. And yeah, it's time to get back into the throw of doing these preview things, just to give you some information, or a little bit of information on the teams and kind of what they're doing and how they're going. So from an injuries point of view, it's probably best to start there. From what I can see, Nottingham Forest don't have any injuries to worry about. From our point of view, we've obviously got Goodmanson out. We've got Nonto is out as well. Gruev is out. They're the three key ones with injuries that are going to be out from the starting 11 side of things. So they won't be featuring in tomorrow's game. But like I said, for Nottingham Forest, there's nothing too much moving on. So let's get into the information that you need prior to this game. It's weird because this is the first one of the season, so it's hard to kind of assimilate any information and put it all together to give you sort of like a fair idea of how the game is probably going to pan out. But let's get into the detail and we'll move it on from there. So looking at it, I think it's important to note in the first instance, as it's the first game of the season, the transfers for both clubs so far. So for Leeds United, the headline ones is Nico Elvedi in, €8 million. James Trafford in, 46.7 million euros. Muramovic in, €37 million. Harry Wilson in on a free. They are the four headline incomings that we've had so far in the summer. And then from a departures point of view, obviously Perrault's gone to West Ham, Bornau's gone to Hamburg. Both of those are on loan. Gelhardt has gone to Hull, €7.6 million. Harrison has gone to New England for €1 million. Wobert has gone to Shackle free. Schmidt for €1.3 million has gone to Young Boys. Carl Darlow, that graphic's wrong. It says Middlesbrough. It's not. It's Scum, but fine. I don't want to put anything in there. Melier went to Arsenal for a free, and Strauch going to Brighton for €23.2 million overall. Excuse me. So, interesting. There's still a little bit of business to be done. And it's looking interesting to see what actually might happen before the transfer window closes. But in terms of upping the level of our squad, I'm quite happy with what I've seen so far. We just need a couple more additions to come in, but happy with what we've got currently at this moment in time. Moving over on to Nottingham Forest. So they have had Bender's coming on a free from Fulham. Diamonde, €40 million in from Sporting. Gustavo Sarr has come in, €20 million. And Schlager has come in on a free as well. So that is their sort of four headlines, if you like. Departures-wise, they have had Awoniyi has gone out for €10.5 million. Sarr has returned back on from being on loan. Stefan Ortega has gone back to Manchester City. Elliot Anderson, it's not 13.5, it's €135 million. He has gone to Manchester City, probably their most key player, and you'll see why when the statistics come up in a little while. Angus Gunn going out on a free. Jos Silva going out on loan, and then Carmo for €9 million going to Ajax. And that's pretty much sort of the headlines for them from a transfer point of view so far, so for both teams. But it's going to be interesting. Like I said, it's first game of the season, so it's difficult to kind of put loads and loads of details on there. Right, your drink setup. It's time for an upgrade. This is the Holy Deluxe Pack, and this is how you enter the Holy Universe properly. You're getting a massive selection across Holy Energy, Hydration, and Iced Tea, plus the iconic Holy Shaker to mix it all up. No bull, full flavour, forget the same old sugary drinks. This gives you variety for gaming, creating, working, whatever the day throws at you. And that's the best bit. You're not gambling on one flavour. Try the range, mix it up, and find the ones you keep coming back to. If you've been thinking about trying Holy, this is the ultimate starter kit. Grab your Holy Deluxe pack now, and if you're new to Holy, use code LEEDS5 for £5 off your first order over $14.99, or for existing customers, use code LEEDS for 10% off your order. Get involved in the drinks revolution. No bull, just flavour and a good time. Now, looking at Forest from a 25-26 season perspective, they finished last season in 16th position. We finished in 14th. I don't know why that's thrown that round like that. That's completely wrong. We finished in 14th. They finished in 16th position overall. Their statistical sort of recent form, so their last few matches that they've played so far, they have drawn, won, drawn, won, lost, won in terms of their last few matches that they've played. Their final team of the season consisted of Sells in goal, Williams, Morato, Milenkovic and Cunha as their back four. They then had Gibbs-White, Sangre, Anderson and Hutchinson as their midfield four. And then their two up top, they had Chris Wood and they also had Igor Jesus as their sort of 4-4-2 formation, shall we say. Now, interestingly, this will be the first game that Glasner is playing as their new, or sort of in charge as their new manager overall. So it's going to be interesting to see how that one forms out. When you look at it from the manager that they had previously, he was averaging, I think, about 1.4 points per game. So, I mean, I was still perplexed when they got rid of Pereira, but I mean, what am I? Do you know what I mean? Weird one, but that's, it's just Forest all over, really, isn't it? It's just the way that it's a basket case of a club, in all honesty. Then looking at their numbers, so 25-26 season, from a passes point of view, ball possession, they had under 50% possession. Accurate passes was at 82%. In their own half was at 90%. The opposition half was 76%, give or take. Long balls wise, under 50%, and accurate crosses, only 20% accurate crosses. 9 clean sheets all season. They conceded on average 1.3 goals per game, round about 17 tackles per game, 8 interceptions per game. They cleared 26 times per game, 3 saves per game as well. 47 balls recovered per game, 29 errors leading to shots. Of those 29 errors, 10 of those turned into goals, 6 penalties committed, 5 of those penalties were scored, 5 clearances off the line, and 10 last man tackles. They scored on average 1.3 goals per game, 3 out of 3 penalties, 1 out of 13 free kicks, 41 from 296 goals inside the box, and 6 from 180 goals outside the box. 9 left-footed, 28 right-footed, 10 headed goals, 2 big chances per game, and they missed one of those 2 chances every game. On average, 12 shots per game. Shots on target per game was 4. Shots off target per game was 4. Block shots per game was 4. Successful dribbles is 7.3. Corners per game is 5.2. Free kicks is 11. They hit the woodwork 7 times, and they counter-attacked 40 times overall. Now, the other statistics that I always find quite interesting, they won 50% of their duels. Of those, 50% were ground duels that they won, and aerial duels, they won 47% of their aerial duels. They lost possession 130 times per game. They conceded 18 throw-ins, 8 goal kicks. They were offside 1.5 times per game, and fouls per game is 10. Yellow cards is 1.5 to 1.6, and 1 red card overall. Now, 2 players that are key to watch for tomorrow's game, in my personal humble opinion, is Harry Wilson and Morgan Gibbs-White. Morgan Gibbs-White had 19 Premier League goal involvements last season. Harry Wilson had 17 Premier League goal involvements last season. So 2 absolutely key players. Head-to-head at the City Ground. Last 4 games, Forest have won all 4. Where they have scored 10, we've only scored 2. So it's about time to make that change. And from an insights point of view, like I said, they've won the last 4 home league games against Leeds. Mentioned about Gibbs-White and his 19 goal involvements. This is Glasner's first competitive game as Forest boss after leading Crystal Palace to Conference League glory. Sold record departure Elliot Anderson to Manchester City for £116 million in the summer. We have lost our opening league game in just 2 of the last 18 top flight seasons. We've scored 12 goals in our last 5 matches, averaging 2.4 goals per game. Our new signing, Harry Wilson, as I said, contributed 17 Premier League goal involvements last season. And we signed goalkeeper James Trafford from Manchester City for £45 million as the Meslier-Darlow replacement overall. So, looking at top-rated players. So, for us, our top-rated players, our top 10 players, if you like, are Anton Stack, Ethan Ampadu, James Justin, Jakob Biol, Kyle Darlow from last season, but that will now be James Trafford, obviously. Noah Okafor, Pascal Struijk, Al Tanaka, which might surprise a few people, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and Gabriel Goodmanson. We have more players rated at 7 or above than what Forest do from last season's statistics. So that does actually swing in our favour a little bit. But Nottingham Forest, Elliot Anderson was their best player by an absolute country mile. He is now no longer there. He is now at Manchester City. So Morgan Gibbs-White is their best player. Nico Williams, then Murillo, Sangre, Sells, Hudson-Odoi, Hutchinson, Milenkovic, and Dominguez is their top 10. Obviously, Elliot Anderson being in there, but he will come out because he is no longer there. Key battle, it says, Anton Stack and Elliot Anderson. They're not there anymore. So the actual key battle, I would say, for me, it's going to be a key battle probably between Stack and Morgan Gibbs-White, or Ampadu and Morgan Gibbs-White would be my guess. When you look at the midfield battle side of things, Stack and Ampadu are the 2 that are mentioned there. You've obviously got Anderson and Gibbs-White in there. As I mentioned, Anderson is no longer with Manchester, is no longer with Nottingham Forest, so it's a case of seeing how that works. So, just a nice little bit of fact in there. Stack has 4 Player of the Match awards. And Gibbs-White has 4 Player of the Match awards as well. Nico Williams has 5 overall. Looking at it from a point of view of how I think Leeds United will line up. I know I usually went for a 3-5-2 formation. Slightly changed it a little bit, and I'm going to go for a 3-4-2-1 formation. So Trafford in goal, that's an absolute given. You're then going to have the back 3 of Rodon, just signed his new contract, Biol and Muramovic as your back 3. You're then going to have wing back / midfield type role being Bogle and Justin on the left-hand side and right-hand side, respectively. In the middle of the park, for me, you've got to go with Ampadu and you've got to go with Stack. And then the attacking 2, if you like, so not left and right wing, but sort of inside 10s, as we like to call them. I'm going to go with Wilson and I'm going to go with Okafor. And then up top, it has to be your man, Calvert-Lewin, overall. That, for me, is a really, really good, solid team, I feel, for us moving forwards. I think that from a point of view of changes that will probably happen, we'll probably see Longstaff come in as a substitute. We'll probably see Aronson come in as a substitute as well. We might see Metcha come in. It's going to be difficult because we haven't won in the last 4 outings that we've gone to the City ground. So, like I say, it will be interesting to see how that game actually pans out, and if we play well or if we don't play well. It's just going to be interesting to see how it all actually works. So, it's like I say, it's hard to give loads of information on how it's going to run overall. You know, you've got Glasner's first game in charge. They're not going to be the same team that we played when we played them at Ellen Road and won. They're going to be different. There's going to be different formations, different ways of playing, different styles of playing. So we've got to be up for that. And our style of football is probably going to have changed as well. So it's just a case of, let's just get this first game out of the way. Performance isn't massively key. It's getting points on the board. That's the thing that matters for me more than anything. Let's start as we mean to go on, and let's get some points on the board. Now down over to you. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. How do you feel about the game? What are your thoughts? Who do you think should start? All of that kind of good stuff. And as I said, make sure you subscribed, make sure your notifications are turned on, and make sure you are liking and hyping for me. And if you are on the audio versions of this, just make sure you're following us on Apple or on Spotify, and that you are also liking the audio for me as well. First one of the season in the bag. I look forward to doing the review of this one, hopefully in a happy mood. Take care of each other. Most importantly, please take care of yourself. We will see you on the next one. Much love. Take it easy. Cheers.